The novel Huck Finn began the period of realism in American literature. The book is about a young boy that goes off on adventures down the Mississippi River with his new friend Jim, a runaway slave. Throughout the story, you learn life lessons about how things were back in the day and how strong of a bond that friendship could be. However, there are some terms used in the book that tend to offend people and cause harm to others. For this reason, dozens of schools across the United States have banned the book, calling it an array of perceived failings, including obscenity, atheism, bad grammar, coarse manners, low moral tolerance, and anti-Southernism. Despite all these aspects, Huck Finn is an American classic and teaches the important value of friendship and life back in the early 1900s. So in the midst of controversy, the best solution for the education of Huck Finn would be to continue teaching the book with censorship. The book includes details that are not necessary to the storyline, so in other words, if those minor terms were not included at all, it wouldn't change the meaning or the moral of the story. In the book, Twain includes Miss Watson's N-word, Jim had a hairball as big as your fist, quoted from page 21. The use of the N-word has a habit of making people feel awkward or uncomfortable. So with censoring, replacing this word with something more appropriate like slave could enhance the language so that people can read the book without feeling awkward and read it with ease. Not only do most African American people find this offensive, but also the way Twain makes Jim speak. Sometimes she spec he'll go away, and then again he'll stay. Quoted from page 22. Twain makes Jim speak, and his dialogue is always sounding like that of a 3-year-old. This could be offensive to black people because it's only Jim and all the other slaves that speak this way, and they all have even more grammatical errors than Huck, a small elementary boy. With censorship, they can make the language equal, and it would still portray his loss of education and that Jim would still be talking the same way as Huck. Not only does that aspect speak loud, but also the way Jim responds to people. All through dinner, Jim stood around and waited on him and says, "Will yo, Grace?" Quoted from page 145. This makes Jim seem gullible and stupid because a total stranger claims he's royalty and Jim just goes along with it with no questions asked. It's almost as if Jim wants to believe that he's a real king because he has this mindset of a child. Maybe if we can censor the idea that Jim is a child, then people will not have that aching thought in the back of their head that black people are always going to be inferior to all the rest of the races. If the book is restricted to everything being more appropriate, we can close all negative thoughts in regard to race and make people see Huck Finn for what it truly is, a classic American novel. However, we shouldn't just focus on the negative aspects that are in the book, but if Huck Finn is banned, then we'll lose all the hidden virtues that make it a classic. There are claims that with Huck Finn, the argument focuses not upon sex or profanity, but upon race and the deepest, most painful American memory, slavery. Quoted from page 25. This book teaches about slavery and by showing us the way African American people were treated and how the white people thought they were superior to everyone. It even goes as far as gender inequality in showing us that women were not as useful as men. Censorship would still allow the message of slavery to get through in a more comfortable way for everybody. People say Twain, to make the sort of grand claim that he would have fun with, created in Huck Finn an origin myth of the nation's moral struggles. Quoted from page 26. This goes to prove that students benefit from learning Huck Finn, and if it's banned, they would be missing out on all of the hidden lessons inside of the book, including the importance of friendship and working hard for what you want most in life because nothing is going to be handed to you. With censorship, we could get the message across without offending anybody. Certainly, this book is an inventory of essential values, including kindness, courage, loyalty to friends, abhorrence of cruelty, independence of conscience, the need to think through moral choices, and of course, the inexhaustible power of creative lying, which is to say, putting a more edifying light on it, the inexhaustible power of imagination. Quoted from page 26. Huck Finn manages to teach us all of these lessons in one book while using it to support the story. With censoring, we can make the lessons more known and more easy to learn by making the morals more general, and we can help the book to become more famous than it is infamous. Censoring the book Huck Finn would create an all-around peaceful environment that has surrounded the controversy of whether the book should be taught or banned. With this solution, all people can enjoy the book: whites, African American people, kids, adults, everyone. The censoring creates a safe environment for all to read and makes our minds focus on the most important parts of the book. In all, Huck Finn is a fantastic book that all people should read at least once in their lifetime. This is all a part of reducing bullying and creating a future that reduces the amount of segregation and choosing a race. This is all a part of humans becoming a single species and accepting each other for who we are.